And joining us here at halftime is Dr. Darlene Bailey, the Director of Athletics for William Jewell College, who made the trip down last night and ends up, and you're going to stay an extra day also, it sounds like.
Yep, the weather makes you do some different kind of things. So, yeah, I came down last night early, was going to see some donors today and spend some time with some friends from my time here at Missouri State. And trip's going to be extended a little bit, but that's okay. We'll get some good stuff done.
I've always heard this part of the country gets more ice storms than anything. That's certainly what we have today.
Absolutely. It's kind of this I-44 corridor, they call it. But I know when I lived here, had a very severe ice storm that took out a bunch of trees in my yard. And it's just the way that the weather patterns are. I think some of it's the terrain, more hills and some of that kind of thing. But it is very icy out there today and still coming down a little bit.
You like living here? It seems like a pretty nice town. It's certainly got a lot of colleges.
It does. You know, Springfield's a really nice community. It's small enough that still, you know, everybody kind of knows everybody, and it still has a lot of the mom and pop individual restaurants, independent type places, but it's big enough that it's got, you know, certainly got a lot of things to do. Certainly a great place to live if you like the outdoors, with all the lakes nearby and a lot of outdoor activities, hiking, biking, all those kinds of things. And yeah, I was here 8 years and really enjoyed my time at Missouri State, and I previously was here for 2 years when I was a student at Drury, way back when.
I didn't know you attended Drury.
My first 2 years of college were here at Drury.
Okay.
And as I look up into the rafters and see the NAI National Championship for their men's basketball team, I was here during that time. 1979, okay. I was a freshman.
I didn't know that.
And so, yeah, Drury's a neat place, and I enjoyed my time there, but just decided to transfer to William Jewell. So feel like I had great opportunity to get a good education at both places.
Well, I was thinking today, Springfield has an NCAA Division I team, a Division II team, an NAIA team at Evangel, and we saw junior college, Ozark Technical.
Yeah, OTC, Ozark
okay.
Tech. They don't have athletics, but there are a lot of educational institutions here. Springfield's kind of a destination, if you will, for this part of the state, but also draws from northwest Arkansas, northeast Oklahoma, and southwest Kansas in terms of medical facilities. The great reputation for having good health care here in Springfield.
All this is leading up to something I was going to ask you about the competitive nature of a community. Is there in this community some parallels to being in the Kansas City area with Avila and UMKC and all of the schools there? Is there some parallel there?
You know, there's a little bit, but I think the unique thing about Springfield is Springfield doesn't have professional teams like the Chiefs and the Royals and all that. They have a minor league baseball team here, but Springfield's also a big enough community, and because of its location, it has the 4 major television networks.
Right.
And so the colleges get a lot of attention from the television here.
Yep,
and so that's
right.
very cool. And they give, you know, the sports guys give a lot of attention to the college athletics, not just Missouri State in Division I, but Drury. I'm sure there'll be some cameras here after a while to get some stuff on the 6 o'clock news. So I always thought that was a cool thing. You know, we didn't have to compete here with the professional teams to get space not only on television but in the newspaper as well.
You look around this relatively new building, the O'Reilly Family Events Center. It's really maybe the best arena in the GLVC, especially for basketball. I think it was probably built for basketball, but that's one thing that we look at and say, boy, that'd be nice to have.
Absolutely.
It would be nice to have it for sure, but how did they get it?
Well, you know, the Springfield community is very supportive of athletics, and you see names on just about everything. The Thomas Stout Student Section, the O'Reilly Family Center, a lot of naming opportunities. They raised the money for this building from a lot of private donors, a lot of folks who were alumni of Drury, but then also folks just in the community. O'Reilly is O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Absolutely.
Another one of their donors was I think a local lumber company here, and you know, they got the hospital involved, and they got the local cable company, just as I look around and see the signs. But their former athletic director really took it on as a fundraising project to raise the money for this facility. After he retired as athletic director, he stayed on for a couple of years specifically for that, and a lot of tremendous community support.
It's a beautiful facility. This is our 3rd trip down here, and I'm impressed by it every time I come down. And I know we're kind of headed in that direction at some point.
I think so. We'd like to. This is about the right size, I think. And a lot of the other places we play in the league are a little bit older and certainly nice facilities, but this facility was built for basketball. It's about the right size. You're close to the action. A lot of chairback seats, which are nice. It has the corporate suites, so the donors who've given a lot of money have a little special seat when they come in. So it has the modern things that you want to see in a building like this. And certainly as we look at possibilities for expansion of our facilities or building something new, this would be one of the places I would look at first.
Darlene Bailey is our guest here at halftime, the Director of Athletics at William Jewell, and that wasn't exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, but it was a good place to start out. Let's talk about Jewell Athletics, because I think this might be the busiest time of the year in our athletic calendar, with two basketball teams working. Baseball and softball start this weekend. The two tennis teams have started their season. Baseball, softball start this weekend. Swimming just got over with, so there's a lot of stuff going on.
It's one of the two busiest times. The other one is in October,
right,
when fall sports are still going and basketball gets started. But yeah, this is definitely a busy time too. The track team left last night ahead of the weather to get to their conference championship in Indianapolis, the GLVC championship for indoor track. And so they're on the road this weekend. Basketball's still going on. We don't have any football, don't have any soccer yet, but they'll start their spring season soon. I think the unique thing about this time of year that makes it interesting, usually not thinking about it so much for basketball, but certainly did have to this week, is the weather. I just had a text from Coach Stockton just a couple minutes ago about possibilities for baseball this weekend down in Oklahoma. So we become weather watchers this time
Absolutely.
of year. And are we going to be able to play today? Are they going to get the fields together? How are the roads? Or can we be safe? So certainly the weather plays into this time of year, and it does put a little bit of stretch on our staff because we have so many athletes that are working out and trying to practice every day to become better and better.
Darlene, are they still planning on going down to Oklahoma, both baseball and softball?
They are. Latest is they may delay and go a day later and try to play Sunday, Monday. Okay. Some of it depends upon how well things dry out and how much field work they can get done, how much the wind blows. It's kind of silly, but really does depend upon the weather. And so we're in close contact, I with the coaches and they with the coaches at the other institutions, because we want to be efficient. Certainly we don't want students to miss any more class than possible. We don't want to go if we're not going to be able to play. If the field conditions are not good, we'll save our money and go later. So there is a lot of coordination involved, and I have a lot of respect for baseball coaches and softball coaches, because most coaches don't have to get their facility ready to play. Basketball walks right in, the floor's there, and somebody else has swept it. But baseball, softball, they're always working on their field, and they have a tremendous amount of pride in wanting to make sure that it looks good, but that it's safe for the student athletes. And I really respect them for that.
Well, I'm going to put a pitch in here for our two coaches, Dustin Combs and Mike Stockton, because we talked about how nice this facility is for basketball, indoor sports. I believe our baseball, softball facilities are, inside the fences, are the best facilities I've seen when I've just been driving around. Now, granted, I don't see them at their peak, but we have a lot to be proud of when it comes to those baseball, softball fields, largely due to those two coaches' efforts.
They do a great job, and that is the most important thing, is to have the field that the students can play on safely and feel good about those conditions. And we do have a lot of work that's done on those. We've been able to do some work to the baseball field thanks to some nice donations with some of the other amenities, if you will, the restrooms and the stands, and we certainly would like to be able to do some of those kind of things with softball, because I think we do have a good setting there if we could just get some of those other things together. We have been working on the drainage at softball and moved the parking lot a little bit and move the driveway, and I think it is going to be a better situation this spring and be ready for all the rain that we know will get here pretty quick.
Mike Stockton told me one time this winter that he goes to our field every single day that he's in town, if for no other reason just to look at it and make sure it's okay. I'm sure Dustin's the same way.
Oh, no, they absolutely do. And I know if I need to find them, if they're not in their office, they're probably at the field. And if I'm driving to or from campus, a lot of times they're over there. And, they have a lot of pride in it, and they want to make sure that it's good. And so, yeah, they go over to make sure it's still there, I think, or to see if the grass has grown overnight,
right,
whatever the case may be. But it's just it's a part of their fabric, and it's just how coaches are like that. And the good ones, like we have two very good ones, they take a tremendous amount of pride in making sure that's all just right.
Dr. Darlene Bailey is our guest here at halftime. The Cardinal women lead Drury 35-26. Saturday, coming up a day after tomorrow, is our seniors afternoon, I guess, for basketball. We don't have a lot of seniors to honor this year, but a good chance to recognize those kids, and I know those seniors appreciate that, and we appreciate everything they have done. So Saturday afternoon against Missouri S&T will be another chance to come out and honor some student athletes.
Absolutely. No, we don't have a lot of seniors this year, and but we do. Senior night's a tradition, really, in all of our sports. Basketball, it's a little bit more public because of the fans involved, but every student that has been part of our athletic program that gets to be a senior, we want to make sure they know how much they have meant to our program, no matter whether they're the ones who score all the points and start all the time or whether they're the ones sitting on the bench. Every senior that makes it 4 years has been an important part of our program, and we know they're all going to go on and do great things, and we're really proud of what they do.
Yeah, I was going to say we have one senior women's player, Caitlin Wood, plus 2 players on the men's side, Nate Croker and Craig Matson, that'll be honored. But a guy like Phil Ankar, who has volunteered to be an assistant coach for Coach Ollie, he'll be recognized, I believe.
Yep.
And so those kind of people contribute a great deal to our program.
Oh, absolutely. No, Phil's done a great job. He's a football player that I think he enjoys basketball a lot, so he's helping us out here in his last year as a senior and looking to graduate in the spring. And Caitlin has only been with us these 2 years, but I've worked with her pretty closely on her academic major. She's interested in going into physical therapy, and so she's within our department, and she's a fine young woman. And then Matt and Nate, they've been with us all 4 years and have been tremendous contributors to our program, and we will miss them. And again, both great students academically.
One thing I like to point out about Nate Croker is that he is the guy who got a job almost a full year before he graduated. He was hired by a firm in St. Louis. I think that's a tremendous thing to say about a guy like him or anybody that goes to school. He was hired before he graduated. I love that.
No, and it's a credit to him and his hard work. I like to think it's a credit to where he's gone to school, too.
Absolutely.
Our placement rates are very good for our graduates because they do get out and hustle. They do a good job in the classroom. And then certainly what we try to make sure our student athletes understand is even if they haven't had a lot of job experience, their sport experience has so many transferable skills that they need to remember and market themselves when they're talking to folks about jobs. And we have employers call us all the time and say, hey, I want to hire athletes because I know what kind of an experience they've had. Tell me who you've got. And we're proud to do that.
Hey, before I let you go, I got to know, you've probably talked to him on the phone, but is Luke out making a snowman today?
He was watching the snow today, and he had a stick that was out on the deck measuring, and I think the plan is to go outside tomorrow when it's kind of done.
Right,
Because I just got a text from Joel Lucan, and he said it's still snowing.
Oh,
or
wow.
it picked back up again. So we've gotten an awful lot of snow up there, an awful lot of ice down here, and everybody had to alter their schedules a little bit today. But main thing is that we all want to be safe, and
Absolutely.
We're safely here.
Darlene, thank you so much for visiting. I know we got off on a couple of different subjects, but it's good talking to you. And hopefully we'll all travel home safely tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rick.
Darlene Bailey, Director of Athletics, has been our guest here on the HyVee Halftime Report.